How's it going, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Friday, May 31st, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys are doing great. Good to be back here with all of you. Hope your week has been great, and I hope the weekly horoscope I did for the past few days was helpful. And here we are. We're back. So, we have the Sun and Venus. We have Venus playing catch up to the Sun. It's like Venus is like chasing the Sun, right? It's like you are in love with somebody and you're just chasing them and you trying to catch up, and you're just like, I want it now, but I can't quite get my hand on it. And it's like, by next week, Venus is going to catch up with the Sun. We're going to have the Sun-Venus Cazimi. But today, we have the Sun and Venus making a sandwich with Aldebaran. And I think this is interesting because this week we've had a lot of stuff happen in the world, right? There's a lot of powerful transformational situations that are playing out. And I think it's connected to this Mars Chiron for sure. There is this martyr energy going around, okay? The sacrificial, like, I have to take this hit in order to keep fighting this battle and keep going. And we have to sacrifice something in our lives right now. And I think today, with the Sun and Venus getting closer to Aldebaran, I think today is a great day to get ahead. It's a great day to get ahead. And I definitely think in relationships, this is a very powerful, potent relationship aspect, especially with new romantic partners coming in, new financial connections being made, marriage partners as well. But at the same time, when we're talking about Chiron and Mars, now Chiron's 23 degrees, and when we're talking about Aldebaran with Venus and the Sun with Aldebaran right now, with Aldebaran, we can really get ahead. This can give us a lot of energy to really push forward, right? But when we're talking about Chiron and Mars together, and we're talking about Venus and the Sun with Aldebaran, there's a sacrifice. There is an equal loss, okay? Antares and Aldebaran are always exactly opposite. They're like binary, right? Like, so they don't really leave each other. So no matter what, there's as much as we can gain and as much power as this is giving us right now to really push our plans ahead and really put ourselves out there and really execute things at a higher level. We have to have a plan. Antares is all about having a plan, right? And we got to hit the target. Aldebaran is the bullseye in the constellation of Taurus, right? And if we're looking at the actual constellation of Taurus, if we're using Placidus, we're talking about Gemini. But Taurus is the bullseye, okay? It follows the Pleiades. The Mesopotamians called it the watcher of the sky, or the follower, okay? It's like, what are we watching? What are we following? What information can come through that we're watching, or trends that we're following that can really help us get ahead? If we're noticing trends and we're noticing what's being executed and we're being very open, and our conscious is open to see what's really playing out here, and we can use that information to really push the envelope and push ahead. We can see some real expansive energy come through. I mean, Jupiter is going to be here too over the next 2 months, okay? But there's always a sacrifice. And I feel like this week too, with Mars Chiron together, it's like, we're really getting a clearer picture of where we're headed, okay? We're getting a clear picture of what things just that, were not meant for us, that we have to let go, that we have to sacrifice in order to keep pushing forward. I've personally felt that a lot this week. Big time. In many ways. And I think too, and I want to point this out, is that we're going to have the moon at 22 degrees. We have Chiron at 22 degrees. 22 degrees is the Capricorn degree. It's the Saturn degree. Okay? Historically, it's been referred to as the kill or be killed degree, right? Like, you got to fight your way to the top. We got to get ahead here with this Aldebaran energy. You know, the moon's at 22. Chiron at 20. There's a sacrifice we need to make to really keep pushing forward in our lives. And I think today we're starting to see that. Okay? If we feel like we have to lose something or let something go to keep moving on and keep pushing forward and keep fighting this battle to do what's right, we must stay on the path. And that Mars-Chiron conjunction that led to this is making sure that we keep pushing forward towards our destiny. And when we don't, this is that be killed energy, this 22 degree mark. Okay? So you got to keep pushing forward. You have to let go of whatever is not coming with you, right? To kill or be killed, it doesn't mean you have to kill something. Literally, if you kill an old part of yourself, you know, because you don't want that old version of yourself to kill you or take you down, right? This 22 degree mark is very interesting, and we saw that. Okay, let's fucking talk about this. January 12th, 2020. Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto on the south node at 22 degrees. 2020, January 2020. And what happened? What came after that? Come February and March. The 22 degree mark is very important. And that 2020 mark of that conjunction, that Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, South Node conjunction at 22 degrees, you know, that was in Capricorn. And 22 degrees is the Capricorn mark. It's like, we have to fight our way to the top. We have to keep pushing forward to get to where we're going. We have to execute the plan. Okay? Because there is this real opportunity, especially with whatever supportive relationships or whatever connected divine kind of partnerships that are coming through. Like, you know, that's kind of where what I'm feeling about this Venus-Sun conjunction with Aldebaran is that partnerships that are connecting right now, or whoever's chasing you or whatever you're chasing, it's going to catch up here in the next few days. And it's going to feel very synchronistic, you know, or whatever situation comes into your life that's been kind of following you, but it hasn't quite connected. It may not just be a person or some romantic interest. It could be an opportunity, you know, or it could be finally like this big idea or this plan that's come together where you're ready to execute it and push forward. That's really just going to really help you jump ahead in big ways. But there's a sacrifice, you know, and you don't want to hold on to everything because that's what's going to take us down right now, you know, and we're seeing that play out in the world, okay? And there's a lot of smoke screen. There's just a lot of deception going on as well, okay? We're at the moon on Neptune. And we're seeing it. I'm not even going to go into the fucking details because I know most people know what the fuck is going on right now. Because as above, so below, right? Whatever's happening in the outer realms of our solar system or the universe or the collective of our entire planet, that's happening within us. You know, there are things we need to really be realistic about. We have to look at things from both sides, okay? Especially with partnerships. And just our practical physical reality and the environment that we are in. Okay, Mercury Uranus just fucking conjunct the past few days. And that buildup is just like new downloads, new information coming through, and definitely unexpected shit. Like, holy shit, I didn't think it was going to play out that way. But that's not the end. That's not the end of the story. It's not what it looks like with this moon Neptune, okay? It's not what it looks like with Chiron and Mars. It's not what it looks like with Venus and the Sun with Aldebaran, you know, or even Black Moon Lilith on the South Node and Pluto retrograde. Like, that's kind of how I feel about this energy, is that it's just not exactly what it looks like. And set in the sun over these next 8 days, 7 days, over the next week is building to its square with Saturn. Okay? So this is the first time in 2024 that we're going to have a sun square Saturn. So you can definitely kind of buckle up for some new information, new facts coming to the surface, and reality kind of hitting us in a fucking hard way. And we kind of need that right now because there's so many smoke screens and smoke and mirrors right now. And we can't quite tell what things really truly are. All right? So, excuse me. I apologize. So we have to be very clear about, we have to be very concise. It's easy with Moon and Neptune to really cast some illusions, okay? It's like, we'll project this image over here and, hey, focus over here, look at this. But then what's really going on is happening behind the scenes or underneath the surface. And it's not ready to expose itself yet, but I definitely think as the sun gets ready to square Saturn, there's going to be some things that are going to be exposed. New facts, new information, or things where, you've gotten a little sloppy, or gotten a little messy, or you've just turned a blind eye to. It's like, I don't want to face that. I don't want to look at that yet. I'm not ready for it. Well, we're going to start to feel that. And, like squares are magical points. It's not like, oh my God, squares. It's like, no. These are the moments that really push us forward to keep moving. Like, let's just be honest. If you got like all kinds of trines in your chart and this and that, and you don't have a lot of squares or conjunctions in your chart, life's a little bit more easy for you, right? And I've seen charts like that where it's like they don't really have a lot of challenges. Okay, but how do you really push ahead if you don't really have a lot of challenges? Some of the most successful people on the planet have some difficult squares in their charts somewhere, or some very powerful, potent conjunctions. I think the potency of a conjunction with a square is pretty similar. Conjunction doesn't necessarily mean it's, like everything's all good, right? It's powerful. It's just powerful. It's like a new moon, right? New moons are fucking like, oh fuck, like, yeah, it's a new cycle, it's a new beginning. But when we're moving into new territory, like we have to really like look at the past and like where we're headed and say, okay, like I can't go back there. We're not going back. So that there is some sort of deception or some illusions that are playing out, and definitely over this next week, it's gonna really come to the surface of like, fuck, like I gotta be honest about the reality because I can't deny the facts. The facts are coming to the surface, and I definitely think things that are happening in our lives this week with this Mars Chiron and this martyr energy or this sacrificial energy, or maybe we really aren't willing to take that sacrifice yet, and we just like, I'm not ready for it. It's like, we're gonna have to be ready for it. And it's important to really get to where we're going. So there's definitely some things that are going to be revealed over this next week that I think are connected to the events of these past few days. It's not exactly what it seems. Okay, there's more to the story here. There's more information. There's something missing, right? But at the same time, we can use that to our advantage with this Sun-Venus Aldebaran to really push forward and to get ahead. If you see people slacking and falling behind, and it's like, oh, there's an opportunity. There's a doorway. This is a chance to really fucking put myself out there and be noticed and be seen and really make some headway. Like, this is the opportunity. It's like if you see a doorway, like, open up, run through it. Take that chance. This could be a chance to really, like, get some momentum here. And by the time the Sun and Venus really catch up to each other, and that's going to happen about 14 degrees by Monday and Tuesday, I'm pretty sure, then we're going to see what's really going to stick and what is not. Okay, especially in our relationships, especially like with our values, our financial life, our creative projects, creative partnerships, all those things, and there's definitely new ones coming into play here. And they're powerful. And these new creative partnerships or even marriages that are happening or, anything associated with that. It's like these new relationships or creative partnership or whatever. When we're talking about Aldebaran, it's like this is like a supportive energy to really help you get to where you're going. It's like the greatest push you need to really, take advantage of a situation in a positive way, But at the same time, the price of that is the sacrifice we're having to make with this Mars Chiron and this South Node, and really just filtering out the fucking dark shit, It's like, because there's some weird shit going on right now. There is this underlying strangeness with this moon in Pisces this week, And once it comes into Aries, and, meets with the North Node over the weekend and Chiron and Mars, it's going to really kick us into gear, but at the same time, really help us see. It's going to illuminate this kind of sacrifice that we have to really make. There is something lingering at this moment that then this moon Neptune, it is kind of a lingering energy. It's like fuck, we're just not sure. Things are not 100% clear, But when we see the doors open, you go through it, because this could be like a massive opportunity with this Venus Sun conjunction with Aldebaran, and Jupiter's going to be there very soon too. So it could be very big. It could be a massive transformation, a massive expansion in your life. So being willing to make the sacrifice, being willing to cut through the deception that the Sun-Saturn square that's building here, it's going to help us look at reality in a much more honest, truthful way. So if things are built on non-truths or deception, like this is over this next week, it's going to start to dissolve, and definitely with this moon Neptune today, we could feel this disillusion of certain things in our life that are not going to stand the test of time with Saturn and Pisces here. So, and we're seeing that in many areas, not just in our life, in the world. There's a lot of things brewing and developing. So we got the Hierophant today. So it is, we have to stick to what we believe in. Okay, we have to speak our truth, and we have to come from that divine place. We have to feel connected to source, and we have to feel connected to that higher power and that higher being, and not be afraid to speak it, even when things get weird, things get crazy, and it is we have the key. We have the key. Chiron is the key, right? The key to healing this identity crisis that we've been going through. That's kind of how I felt about Chiron. Especially, I'm starting to understand it more as we've gone through February, the Chiron North Node conjunction and Mars. We had that Mercury retrograde. There's been this collective identity crisis since 2018, okay? And if you look at it on a higher level, too, there's many ways to look at it. But, it is. Even when things get weird, things get funky, you get today can be very confusing for a lot of people. Even things that have happened over the past few days, I'm a little confused. I'm what the fuck? Things are not clear. Words are not necessarily clear yet. So when this moon comes into Aries over the next couple days, it's really going to kick things into gear. Just keep your eyes peeled, especially with people coming into your life right now and what support is coming in from new connections and new partnerships. There that are going to reflect your future in a whole new way, in a whole way you didn't really perceive yet. And definitely this Mercury-Uranus conjunction is still playing out. So, and Mercury's going to cross the degree where the Sun-Jupiter conjunction happened and the Venus-Jupiter conjunction happened here in just a few days. So there's a message coming through. There's a big message coming through. And then Mercury's coming into Gemini. And we're going to be able to really be able to receive the message and the information and to be able to discern information in a much more balanced way and not be so fixed in our minds or stubborn. There's a lot of stubborn energy right now with Mercury and Taurus. And, you know, Uranus, Mercury conjunction is trying to break us out of that stubborn energy, you know. So you gotta, with the Sun, Venus, Aldebaran, and this Moon, Neptune, and the Sun building towards its square with Saturn, it's like we gotta let things play out. You can't control it, you know. And we have to be willing to make the sacrifice. And we have to be willing to not hold on to things just because you want to play it safe or you want to, you know, hold on to some situation or some relationship situation that's just, it's not serving you for the future, you know. This Aldebaran energy is going to be so strong over these next few days. And I'm very interested to see how that plays out. Because this week has been very interesting, to say the least, in our personal lives and in the world, in the collective. So I'm going to leave it at that. Glad to be back here with you guys. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment, say what's up. You can follow me on all of my social media platforms where you'll find the links in the description of this video, along with my reading sale where you can go to my booking website where the link is also in the description of this video with all of my other links. So my reading sale is going to be going on until the 21st. So the first week of June is pretty much booked. So we're moving into the second week now. So I would hop on that pretty quick. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. The energy is so strong with Aldebaran right now, the fixed star. You know, look, let's just be real. Aldebaran is 44 times bigger than our sun. It's a freaking giant red sun. Okay? It's fucking huge. So, its energy is so strong and so potent, especially with the Sun and Venus together crossing Aldebaran, and will make their conjunction just a few degrees away from that. And just a reminder, too, that 22-degree energy with Chiron and the Moon today at 22, there's something that needs to fucking die off, you know? Because if you're not willing to make that sacrifice and let it go, it will take you down. And that is the Capricorn degree. You got to be willing to build, keep climbing the mountain, keep going, keep having faith to get to the top. And I think that is one of the most important things to keep in mind over these next few days and these next few weeks, especially going to the end of the year, because the first half of this year was very powerful, very potent, a lot of amazing benefic energy we just went through. Now we're going to start to see shit really ramp up in a very intense way, especially as Saturn and Neptune start to slow down. A lot of illusions are going to start to crumble. Saturn and Neptune are still direct right now, so whatever is being projected out through the screens, through any sort of magical spell, it's not what it looks like right now. When Pluto goes back to 29 degrees of Capricorn, when Neptune retrogrades, when Saturn retrogrades, there's going to be a lot of truth revealed within our lives, within ourselves, within the collective. It's going to be very surprising. And more people are going to start to wake the fuck up. Have a wonderful Friday, and I'll see you all for the weekend. Peace.